Hello friends, welcome to Cities Skylines. Brand new series for me. It's the most recent game in the Cities sort of town building simulator series. And I've played it for a little while and I can say it's bloody good. Genuinely enjoying the game. I've created a couple of sort of small little mess around towns here. Drewview and Bouncetown. We're not going to load those games though, we're going to start a new game. And we'll play in Blackwoods, because it's got a fairly level set of natural resources. Our city name will be Dehumanized Land. And of course we're going to have left-hand traffic, because being Scottish, why the hell wouldn't I? There are quite a few different places you can choose. I might actually go with Two Rivers, because we don't do a lot of farming, I've noticed. Like, I haven't really seen any farming going on. Maybe that's a later on thing, but with plenty of oil, plenty of ore, and a hell of a lot of forest. Not so much water, but that's not really a big issue. As long as we have a couple of water sources, we're okay, and I know Two Rivers does. Yeah, Dehumanized Land is actually going to be in Two Rivers County. Running out of fresh water? Use water towers to help supply the city. We could do that. It does take a little while to load, but bear with it. And ignore Becky texting me. Yes, okay, no problem. I will just reply to this while the game's loading up. So the game's loaded. I'm still texting. Let's start. Hello, let's start by building some roads and zoning the areas next to them. Buildings will spawn in the zoned areas, and you will unlock new city services and buildings as your city grows. For help, click on the question mark button below. We don't really need to do that, we know what we're doing. So we close that, and what I like to do is pause the game. We have a tooltip popping up suggesting we build roads to expand our city. Now that's no problem. Just wanting to check that we have a decent amount of water here. We do. Okay. So first of all, we need to click on roads. I mean to just extend these just a little. We should actually probably... What I'll do is I'll make these dual carriageways. They do cost a little more, but they'll be worth it in the end. Now there is a roundabout tool, however, I actually would prefer to just freeform road. And we can build our own, because we can make it a lot bigger from the off. And that will save us problems later on. So that's our roundabout coming into our town. We can get rid of that. So first off, what we'd like to do is we'll have a little branch off this way. And that didn't work. Oh, I'm still on freeform. I'm actually looking for a straight road. I'll branch off that way. And we'll have a slightly larger branch coming off this way. So on the right hand side of the screen here, we're going to have our sort of industrial district, and we're going to make this our first residential district. We're going to make just a fairly straightforward grid pattern of roads here. It'll be about here and about here. Actually, what we could do is slightly further along. No. Can't find the sweet spot. There it is. And we can just sort of get rid of that and finish it off as a full grid. That's actually not enough. One more. Now that's too far. Well, okay, we'll just have a small gap. Already hating my town. So, now that we've created a couple of roads, we should actually, what we'll do is do a little curved road. And we'll try and bring this quite close to the edge of town, like so. The closer the industrial district is to the edge of town, the better, really. It keeps it further away from everything else. So we need, in zoning, we need some residential, low density residential zone. Now we have a couple of tools here. We have a fill tool, block tool, and brush tools. The fill literally just fills an area. So we'd like to do that. We would like some shops, actually. I think that area will be better for shops. And we can create our industrial area over here. We'll use the brush for that since it's a little segmented as we used a curved road. Okay, now buildings will start spawning in those plots as and when we get the right demand for them. We will need electricity. We would like a coal power plant, just at the edge of the industrial district here. And for water, we actually have to go all the way to the river here, which is a little bit of a palaver, really. But that's fine. So we need to put these on the coast. We want the outlet pipe to be downstream from the inlet pipe, like so. And we can create a pipe conjoining those. And from the centre, we'll create another pipe. And this sort of blue area that we're outlining has to touch everywhere we actually want to build. We may eventually build across that roundabout. So it's in our interests to just fill in the water for that now. That should do it. I like to go into top-down mode for building. It makes things a little easier. Okay. The economy panel has been unlocked. It lets you handle taxes and see how much you make and spend. We'll just click on that just now just to show you. So our budgets for electricity and water are at 100% at the moment. We can boost them anywhere from 50% if we feel like saving money and we don't need the full power from them, or all the way up to 150 if we need a little boost. So what we'll do is we'll unpause the game now, will need to wait until some... Actually, in the meantime, I'll show you the sort of Twitter system. It's called Chirper. You know, makes sense, right? And we can just sort of keep an eye on what our citizens in the town are talking about. Okay, it looks like our city is beginning to be built here, so we will need to hook up the power, like so. And we can come out of the edit mode like that. And here we see the start of dehumanized land. Before long, we'll start getting some citizens popping up. Well, we will shortly, but I have sort of forgotten to give the water lines any power. So that's fine for that. And we have 67 residents now. We are still losing money. We will lose money until more residents come in and we'll start to gain some tax revenue from them. Now in the bottom of the screen here we have our demand levels. So we have medium demand for a residential zone, we have slight demand for a commercial zone, and no demand for industry at the moment. As you'll see, our entire industrial zone, there's nothing there yet. That's not anything to be worried about for the time being. As you can see, with the demand for commercial, we now have a few commercial lots popping up here. They will all stay powered, as you'll see here. Anything within the blue section is powered, and as long as there's no isolated areas with houses in them, everything does kind of hook up quite well. Our electricity consumption is 3 megawatts. Our production from the coal power plant at the moment is 40, so that's fine. With that in mind, we can go into our budgets and set our budgets at 50% for now. Save ourselves a little bit of money. Because our water, we are making, well, we're pumping through 30,000 cubic metres a week, and we are draining 30,000 cubic metres a week, and our consumption is only 5,500. I will need to keep an eye on that, and make sure it doesn't get a little bit out of control. But all going well, it should. What we'll do is we'll put it into full speed until we have a little bit of growth, and then we can see where we need to build. Our industrial sector is starting to get off the ground now. We have info views, which is I'm not sure actually. Oh, it's in the corner here. Okay. So we have a wind chart, in case we want to build some wind turbines. Happiness and traffic. There's a bit of traffic sort of overload here, but we don't need to worry about that for now. Your citizens travel to enjoy services. If traffic becomes congested, people have a hard time getting to work and back, production slows down when resources and goods sit in trucks, and the effective radius of your service buildings becomes smaller. Larger roads support faster driving and have more lanes. Use roundabouts to help traffic flow better and build new highways. We have reached our population of 420, which actually makes us a little hamlet. We'll get a little bit of money for that. We've unlocked taxation and loans. And we have new services available to us. We have garbage, healthcare and education. Garbage, we have landfill site. Healthcare, we have a medical clinic. And education, we have an elementary school. Now it gives you just enough money to actually go ahead and buy what you need there. But to say, I want that overlay to go away. How can I? So, our residential area appears to be expanding quite well, to the point where I would like to build an offshoot from it. We won't do so with curved roads, we'll do it in straight roads. Maybe curved roads would actually be a better idea for this bit. We'll get it fairly close to the edge. And then we'll curve it in like that. So, with that, we can build a healthcare site. We'll build that in the actual major area. We'll also have our first school. We should build that here. So we have 147 kids eligible for elementary school. And the capacity is 300. We'll need to keep an eye on that. As we expand, that's probably not going to be enough for very long. Speaking of not going to be enough, I think we do need to... Oh, we have odd mutations in about 10% of people. Well, it's like X-Men all over again. I would like to expand this road somewhat so we can... Well, first of all, build more industrial area. But also, we'd like to build a bit of landfill too. I have a pointless curve in this road, because why not? We'll also bring it in on a slant. There we go. So we'll go to our garbage section, and we will create a landfill site on the corner here. Will that... that will actually disturb what we can build around there. I think we'll build this out of the way, but not so far that the trucks... Here's a better idea. Why don't we build the landfill site here? Just on the way into and out of the city. Now that'll keep us going for a little while. Landfill capacity of 8 million units, and we're producing 14,000 a week. So we have plenty time for that to not really be an issue. We do need to zone these new areas and provide them with water. So we will... Oh. Okay. We're actually going to have to provide them with full electricity already. We may as well put the water up as well. It's not going to be long until that. We're going to pump the taxes up to 12 and 13% for residential and business areas. This far side can be a rather narrow row of houses, which does thicken up towards the end. We'll have a sort of corner shop set up here. Actually, we do still have some demand for commercial, so we'll make that a set of shops. And there we are. We have our second street set up. We don't, however, have it connected to the water lines yet. It will automatically hook up to the electric lines, which is good. And we don't need to do much with this to hook that up to the water, so that's fine. And we'll zone this as industrial as well. Just like so. And in here. There we are. Now you'll see the ground around the industrial section is becoming grey. That's pollution. Pollution does destroy the land around pollutable areas, which, you know, is why we've created our industrial section so far away from the living quarters of the town. Population is steadily rising and we're making a decent source of income. We're making 1,200 euros a week. At least I think it's euros. We'll accelerate time until this area fills up, and then we'll see what we need to do. We're gaining a good 46, 48, 54 residents a week here, which is good. We do have, however, I'll slow this down again, increasing demand for commercial. So what I'll do is I will have to shrink this one section down, which has made a couple of people unhappy, but you know, they'll get over it. And I think what I'll have coming off of here is a dual lane high street. We're going to make all of this commercial. This entire section, and it can act as the sort of town centre for this small area. We light the fill tool and we'll just pop that in like so. There we are. We do still have some demand for residential as well. There's not much space left over for that. So we can continue this road in a single lane fashion. We'll need to be quite careful with how we're building this. In fact, it may be better to build it from here. Our money is actually slightly low. But before long we'll have enough to cover this. We need 480 and we're getting a couple of hundred every day, so that's just about enough now. We're at -9, I'm sure we'll manage that. So we'd like to zone this as residential. And they can live in... Oh, we're now a worthy village. We can actually create the Statue of Liberty, which we won't bother yet. We can unlock a new area. We can expand our town already. We won't bother doing that yet. It's essentially a waste of money at the moment. We still have plenty of room to build with here. We can make districts. We can create policies. We qualify for a second loan. Industry specialisations and services policies. I'll touch upon those probably in the next video. I feel like this could be a good time to cut this episode off at the moment. We've unlocked the fire department and the police department, as well as unique buildings. And we can specialise in forestry and agriculture. These are the buildings we can make: a firehouse and a police station. We should probably go ahead and do that in this section here. First of all, fire station. I think this is probably a good place for it. Just where it's not going to demolish any houses is probably best. So right in there. And we can have the police station just beside it. We don't quite have enough money for that. That will pop up as we go here. We would like to continue filling this area in. We will need to hook the water services up to here. Like so. So and so. And the electricity should cope with that. The water's fine for now. Electricity, we're producing about double what we need for what we have built so far. But we're at the point where we should actually probably think about making a couple of possibly turbines, or perhaps another coal station. What is it with the waterworks, says William Graham, who is... He's going to the Linden residence. I see no reason they wouldn't have water. That's strange. I should probably keep an eye on that. I'll skip forward just a little bit here, speed-wise. Just so we have enough money to build our police station. I'd like to put it somewhere where it's not going to destroy anything. Here's probably a good bit. So our crime rate is 8%. We'd like that to stay as low as possible. With a police station there, that should go down fairly quickly. We now have 260 almost children enrolled in the school, so we could probably do with creating another one. And that's going to cost us another 10,000. We will create it here when we get enough money. Yeah, we're at the edge of what's possible here. These poor teachers, are going to be quite overworked at this stage. And it's not fair to ask them to deal with that situation. What we can do here is we could raise taxes to gain the money a little quicker, but we've got the 10,000 and we've actually become a tiny town. So we can create a high school. We'll not do that yet. Policies we can introduce include a pet ban, a smoking ban, and parks and recreation, which allows you to increase the land value, as it says there, but at the cost of a decoration budget, which is sort of your parks and whatnot, raising by 20%. So, from our little tiny town, on the 1st of September 2015, it's time to end this episode. I should be putting this episode up today, which is Friday, and I would like to work on more episodes to put up at the weekend as well. In the meantime, I will have more Dark Souls videos and Sim Golf videos going up as well. But still, I hope you're going to enjoy this series as much as I'm enjoying playing the game. My skill is absolutely terrible so far, to be honest. It's definitely a difficult game to learn, but I think once you've got the basics down, I reckon it'd be fairly easy to master this game. Now that I've said that, we're going to watch as I completely crash and burn on it. Anyway, time to end this episode here. Thanks for watching, friends, and goodbye for now.
Red on